There are Costco rules that are never publicly announced, yet they are strictly enforced. Just accidentally committing a minor violation or returning an item the wrong way can potentially get your membership revoked permanently on the spot. Here are the things you absolutely must know before returning to Costco. You'd be awesome if you subscribed and liked this video. Sharing your membership card. The system has recognized you. If you are letting a relative borrow your Costco card to go in and shop, now is the time to stop and read this carefully. Not because Costco just added a fine print line to its terms of use, but because their identification system is now operating at a level that many people have not yet realized. Since the beginning of this year, all entrance gates and self-checkout lanes at Costco have been equipped with card scanners connected directly to the member photo database. As soon as the card is scanned, the primary cardholder photo displays instantly on the monitoring employee's screen. There is no delay and no window of time to maneuver. If the person standing at the register differs from the photo in the system, the transaction can be cancelled immediately. One member shared that he was stopped right at the self-checkout lane when using his girlfriend's card. The employee didn't need to ask any further questions. They simply pointed at the computer screen and said, "The photo doesn't match." The entire shopping cart had to be left behind. What is even more striking is that this system does not only apply at the entrance. The food court, which was once a place many people thought they could drop by to grab a meal without a card, now also requires scanning an active membership card at the ordering kiosks. Without scanning a valid card, the item selection screen won't open. The famous $1.50 hot dog combo, with its unchanged price tag, which many consider an unbeatable deal that shouldn't be missed even without shopping inside Costco, is now reserved exclusively for actual members. Costco raising membership fees to $65 for Gold Star and $130 for Executive is not simply to increase revenue. With over 128 million cardholders worldwide contributing more than $4.66 billion in membership fees each year, they have plenty of financial reasons to fiercely protect this revenue stream. And they are doing exactly that. The return limits Costco doesn't tell you directly. Costco's return policy is considered one of the most generous in the U.S. retail industry. But there is a list of behaviors that Costco considers abuse, and you will not find that list clearly spelled out anywhere on their website. Costco's return policy is genuinely very generous, and that is not just an advertisement phrase. You can return a blender after 3 months of trying it if you're not satisfied, bring back a mattress after a year of sleeping on it if it doesn't fit your back, or exchange a cookware set because you don't like the handles. Costco rarely asks why, and that gradually causes many people to cross the line without realizing they are doing so. The issue does not lie in a single return. The real issue lies in the frequency, dollar value, and recurring nature of those returns. Costco's data analytics system tracks the entire transaction history of every single member, including return history. When an account shows unusual patterns, no employee knocks on your door to give you a heads up. The card can simply be flagged as a risk, and once a certain threshold is reached, it can get locked. Specific behaviors that have been documented leading to membership revocation include buying seasonal items and returning them after the season ends, returning food that is more than half consumed, or repeatedly bringing years-old electronics to the counter under the excuse that you no longer like them. A widely publicized case involved a customer whose card was confiscated on the spot at the customer service desk by the warehouse manager for repeatedly returning electronic devices purchased 8 to 10 years earlier. Costco refunded the full annual membership fee for that year and permanently refused to reissue a card. What needs to be clearly understood is that Costco does not view its return policy as an unlimited perk for everyone to exploit freely. They view it as a gesture of mutual trust between two parties. When one side systematically breaks that trust, the other side can revoke all privileges without further explanation. There is one tiny action at the Costco customer service counter where, if you do it wrong just once, your card could potentially be confiscated right on the spot. The zero-tolerance rule regarding abusive behavior toward employees. Costco does not operate under the "customer is always right" philosophy. This is not a subtle stance or an internal culture that employees apply on their own. This is a clearly written policy that is strictly enforced from the warehouse management level on up. Specifically, any behavior classified as abusive toward an employee, whether shouting, hurling insults, making threats, or acting aggressively at any counter inside the warehouse, can result in the general manager revoking your membership card on the spot. There may be no prior warning, no appeal process, and no opportunity to explain afterward. And unlike many other violations that might be reconsidered over time, this offense can be permanently recorded in the system. What is notable is that the most common scenarios occur at the customer service desk when a return is rejected or at the receipt check exit gate when employees ask to double-check a cart. These are two major hot spots where shoppers who are already frustrated for other reasons can easily lose control of their emotions. And that is precisely where Costco applies its strictest rules. The reasoning behind this policy isn't entirely about morals. Costco pays its employees an average of over $24 an hour, maintains an employee retention rate of nearly 94%, and over 90% of its workforce receives company-provided health insurance. When a business invests in its employees at that level, they have every reason to fiercely protect that workforce from unnecessary situations, and they can easily afford to turn away customers who do not respect that. 30-day price adjustment. This is a perk that the vast majority of Costco members have never used, not because they aren't eligible, but because they don't know it exists or misunderstand how to apply it. The basic rule is this: if an item you purchased at Costco drops in price within 30 days of your purchase date, you have the right to go to the service counter, present your membership card, and request a refund for the price difference. You do not need to bring the item with you, nor do you need a paper receipt because your entire transaction history is saved under your card. The process usually takes less than 5 minutes. However, there are two major pitfalls where many people stumble. First, for orders placed online at Costco.com, the 30-day window is calculated from the date the order was placed, not the date it was delivered. If you order a TV on August 1st, it gets delivered on August 10th, and the price drops on August 28th, you are still within the time frame. But if you wait until September 5th, thinking you have 30 days from the delivery date, your request may be automatically denied. No exceptions, no second looks. Second, Costco.com and physical warehouse locations operate completely independently of one another. Online prices are typically 5 to 15% higher than warehouse prices because shipping and logistics costs are built into the price. That means you cannot take an online receipt to a physical warehouse counter to request a price match, and vice versa. If you regularly buy big-ticket items at Costco, a smart habit to develop is taking a photo of the price as soon as you buy it and checking back 2 weeks later. The money recovered is sometimes enough to cover a significant chunk of next year's membership fee. Although Costco rules state that you must have a membership card to enter and shop, there is a legal clause you can take advantage of right away without needing a card. Entering Costco without a card. Most people think that without a membership card, you can't get into Costco. That is true in most cases, but not all. U.S. federal law stipulates that membership clubs are not allowed to restrict access to prescription pharmacy services. That means the pharmacy counter at Costco is open to everyone, whether you have a card or not. You simply walk straight up to the entrance, tell the door checker that you need to go to the pharmacy, and they will let you right in. No further explanation needed, no other procedures required, and this is not a loophole or a trick. This is a mandatory regulation that Costco must comply with under the law. A customer in California shared that she doesn't have a Costco card, yet she still goes to the pharmacy counter to pick up her monthly prescription medication and has done so for 2 years straight. The reason is simple: drug prices at Costco can be significantly lower than at CVS or Walgreens because Costco caps its markup on pharmaceuticals at around 15% over cost, whereas other pharmacy chains have no such constraint. Additionally, in certain states such as California, Texas, New York, Michigan, and Minnesota, liquor control laws do not permit membership clubs to restrict the right to purchase alcoholic beverages. In these states, you can walk into Costco's liquor department and make a purchase without a card. Some locations even have a separate entrance for this section. Executive membership. are you profitably ahead or losing an extra $65 a year? Costco's executive membership currently costs $130 a year, which is $65 higher than the basic Gold Star membership. The main perk is a 2% cashback reward on all eligible in-warehouse and online transactions. That sounds like a great deal, but the actual math is what determines whether you're making money or throwing it out the window. For the 2% cashback to offset the exact $65 difference, you need to spend a minimum of $3,250 a year at Costco, which works out to about $270 a month. If your actual spending level is lower than that figure, the extra amount you paid to upgrade your card will not be fully recovered. Conversely, if you regularly shop above that threshold, the executive card genuinely pays for itself. What few people know is that Costco has a protection mechanism quite rare in the retail industry. If, at the end of the year, your accumulated cashback does not cover the $65 difference, Costco will refund the shortfall when you renew your membership. The simplest way to calculate it is to look back at your last 3 months of shopping, add them up, and multiply by 4. If that number exceeds $3,250, the executive card is worth it. If not, the Gold Star card is enough and you don't need to pay anything extra. Many members share that simply grouping major yearly expenses like replacing tires, buying electronics, and regularly filling up on gas at Costco is enough for the end-of-year reward check to cover the next year's membership fee altogether. Costco has a price tag coding system that warehouse employees use daily to know which items are about to disappear and which items are at rock-bottom prices. Regular customers are never properly explained this system. Reading price tags like a Costco employee. A price tag at Costco doesn't just tell you how much an item costs. If you know how to read it correctly, it tells you what stage that item is at in its inventory life cycle, whether it's far from running out or about to disappear forever. A price ending in 99 is the standard manufacturer's list price. Nothing special. This is the regular price that Costco maintains until there is a change in the supply chain or inventory strategy. When you see a price ending in 97, that isn't a company-wide policy or a scheduled promotion. It is a decision made specifically by that warehouse manager to accelerate the sell-through rate of a particular item. The discount might not seem like much, but the real signal is that the inventory needs to be cleared and the warehouse manager is willing to take a partial loss to make it happen. The small asterisk in the top right corner of the price tag, which many Costco employees affectionately call the Death Star, is the most powerful signal in this coding system. It means that the item has been discontinued. Once current stock runs out, the product code is removed from the system and will not be reordered. This is a lesson I learned the hard way, and I'm going to share it with you. If you see an item with the price ending in 97 paired with a Death Star symbol, that is your sign to buy it immediately. That price has hit rock bottom, and the entire lot could be gone forever within 24 hours. The real brands behind the Kirkland label. Kirkland's signature does not own its own factories for the vast majority of its product categories. This isn't a deeply hidden secret, but it's also not information that Costco actively promotes, for the simple reason that partner manufacturers sign very strict non-disclosure agreements. Employees at those companies have reportedly been fired just for hinting at the relationship. The way Costco operates is by directly approaching top manufacturers in each industry, placing massive orders, requiring them to maintain or elevate product standards, and packaging everything under the Kirkland label at prices 20 to 35% lower than the brand name originals. The savings come from completely eliminating marketing budgets, TV commercials, and middleman distribution fees. Several of these partnerships have been confirmed or backed by overwhelming evidence. Kirkland AA and AAA batteries are manufactured by Duracell, a fact supported by multiple independent technical tests and lot code comparisons on the packaging. The Kirkland price is 25 to 35% cheaper than an equivalent pack of Duracell batteries. Kirkland House Blend coffee bags explicitly state, "custom roasted by Starbucks," right on the package, leaving no need for further guessing. What is even more notable is that Costco requires its manufacturing partners to sign strict identity non-disclosure agreements. So even though you might read this information in many places, there may never be an official statement from the manufacturers directly confirming every partnership. But when you flip over a pack of Kirkland batteries and see the exact same technical markings as Duracell, or read the name Starbucks printed right on a bag of coffee, you don't need much further confirmation. One of the most persistent rumors about Costco involves a budget-friendly bottle of vodka and a luxury French brand. Federal tax records tell one story, but blind taste tests tell another. When Kirkland is pricier than the name brand next to it. Costco's purchasing philosophy clearly dictates that every product carrying the Kirkland signature label must meet or exceed the standards of the leading brand in its respective industry. Not just equal, but equal or better. When a Kirkland product is priced higher than the brand name item standing right beside it, that usually means Costco requested the manufacturer to increase the density of premium ingredients beyond that brand's own standard specifications. A concrete example is canned solid fish. Costco might demand a higher ratio of firm fish meat, lower brine content, and no fillers compared with the standard retail version from the exact same manufacturer. As a result, the Kirkland product is substantively better, but slightly more expensive due to higher actual raw material costs. A former Costco employee once shared on an internal forum that when you see Kirkland priced higher than the name brand next to it, it is almost absolute confirmation that Costco paid the factory extra to raise the raw material standard above the original. Of course, not every instance where Kirkland is pricier has such a logical explanation. But instead of automatically skipping over it, a smarter approach is to read the ingredient list, compare the net weight, and check the unit price per measure. Kirkland Vodka and the Grey Goose story. No rumor in the U.S. retail industry has been as persistent and widespread as the story about the bottle of Kirkland signature French vodka and its connection to Grey Goose. Millions of people believe they are drinking Grey Goose at a third of the price. The truth isn't quite that simple, but the reason why that rumor is so convincing can't be completely dismissed either. The real common denominator between these two vodkas is the water source. Both Kirkland French vodka and Grey Goose draw their water from the Gensac Springs in the Cognac region of France, one of the most highly regarded water sources in the distilling industry. That is a verifiable similarity that no one denies. However, filings from the U.S. Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau indicate that the supplier for Kirkland vodka is LCA Corporation, not Bacardi, the parent company that owns the Grey Goose brand. Grey Goose has also issued multiple statements denying any manufacturing relationship with Costco. Legally speaking, these are two separate products from two different producers. But here is the part that makes the story even more compelling. In blind taste tests conducted by numerous independent groups, Kirkland French vodka consistently scores on par with or higher than Grey Goose, alongside several other luxury brands costing 2 to 3 times as much. Kirkland's 5-time distillation process yields a remarkably clean and smooth product relative to its price point of around $20 a bottle. There is a rule at the Costco checkout register that many people find annoying without understanding the real reason behind it. Once you learn about the fraud scheme it was designed to prevent, you will no longer find it unreasonable. Why do you have to completely unload your cart? If you've ever been asked by a Costco employee to lift every single item from your shopping cart onto the conveyor belt, even heavy boxes or large packages that are usually left under the bottom of the cart for employees to scan, and you found it quite annoying, that reaction is completely understandable. But the real reason behind this rule isn't a matter of arbitrary procedure or pointless inconvenience. Costco discovered a rather sophisticated fraud scheme being systematically executed at several locations. Fraudsters would buy large cardboard boxes or shrink-wrapped multi-packs such as cases of paper towels, bags of dog food, or cases of soda, tear open the outer wrapping, stuff expensive items like Wagyu beef, small electronics, or high-end imported foods inside, and then loosely rewrap them just enough to look normal when viewed from above in the cart. The employees scanning from above the belt would only see the barcode for the paper towels, and nobody opened it up to check inside. Some locations reportedly recorded losses of up to tens of thousands of dollars a month before this tactic was identified. Costco's response was to require all merchandise to go onto the conveyor belt for visual inspection by employees, with no exceptions based on size or weight. This rule is currently not applied uniformly across all warehouses because it depends on individual warehouse managers and the risk level of each area. But if you encounter this requirement at your local warehouse, it is a sign that the location is enforcing tighter controls than usual, and typically for a specific reason. Pets at Costco: who gets in and who gets turned away? This is something that many people completely misunderstand, including members who have shopped at Costco for years. Costco bans all pets and emotional support animals, commonly referred to as ESAs, regardless of whether the animal has paperwork, is trained, or how cute it looks. The only exception protected by federal ADA law is service dogs for people with disabilities, meaning professionally trained service dogs that perform specific medical tasks or support. But even with a valid service dog, Costco still enforces a rule that many people are unaware of. The dog must walk on its own 4 paws on the floor. Placing a dog in a shopping cart or in the child seat of a cart is a direct violation of federal food safety laws, and employees have the right to ask you to leave the warehouse immediately. Regarding the procedure at the entrance, Costco employees are only allowed to ask 2 specific questions under ADA regulations. Is this a service animal required because of a disability? And what specific task has the dog been trained to perform? They are not allowed to ask for certification paperwork or proof of training because the ADA does not require service dogs to have official certification. That creates a loophole that some people exploit by falsely claiming their animal is a service dog. However, doing so is a violation of the law in 23 U.S. states, carrying fines ranging from $250 to $1,000, and some states can even press criminal charges. Costco employees are trained to spot red flags and have the right to deny entry if an animal exhibits behavior inconsistent with that of a genuine service dog. Everything that was just shared isn't meant to make you anxious every time you step into Costco. Keep these things in mind so you can walk in there with confidence, know what perks you're entitled to, avoid costly and unnecessary mistakes, and never lose a single cent simply due to a lack of information. For more smart shopping secrets and money-saving tips, stay with Frugal Finds.